Mr. Walt Disney must be rolling in his hyperbaric chamber now that Disney is putting its self-governing city in jeopardy for defending queers. This episode of Aerial Critiques has been sponsored by Silicon Valley Bank. You got some money? Why not put it in our bank? What's the worst thing that could possibly happen? Hello, I'm the nostalgic critiquer, because postmodernism is seemingly a hellscape I can never escape.
Oh my god, doesn't this remind you of Jesus? I'm like Jesus! I'm Jesus! Feel sorry for me, I'm Jesus!
What does postmodernism even mean? Do you know what postmodernism means? Put it in the comments below. You'll get a prize. Before the YouTube thing I'm recovering from a concussion. That's not a bit. I actually have a concussion. How am I supposed to read all this literature they gave me about concussions? I'm concussed. I can't read. If I seem kind of out of it, it's also why I'm wearing these sunglasses, because I'm still experiencing light sensitivity. And, if I say anything bad in the episode, I can't be held accountable for it because I have a concussion, so. Now, on our last episode of Aerial Critiques, I discussed the Disney animated film Dumbo, and the nostalgia I feel for the film in spite of its horrifically racist scenes, including scenes with a group of anthropomorphic crows based upon blackface minstrel performances. In fact, the leader of the crows was originally supposed to be named Jim Crow, a reference to the blackface minstrel character, after which the racist post-Civil War segregation laws were named. Although perhaps paling in comparison to blackface minstrel crows, the film features another racist scene, the Roustabout song, portraying black workers singing lines referring to themselves as happy-hearted to slave until they're almost dead, echoing the racist ideology used to justify slavery, asserting that black people are simple-minded and happier when enslaved, singing, "We don't know when we get our pay, and when we do, we throw our pay away," and "Grab that rope, you hairy ape." Yikes. But while the racism in Dumbo is almost certainly its most offensive element, there's another scene that also reveals a sinister side to Disney. This scene immediately precedes the iconic pink elephant sequence. Take a listen to this dialogue between drunken circus clowns.
Be careful. You'll hurt the little guy.
Oh, go on. Elephants ain't got no feelings.
No, they're made of rubber.
This idea is sensational! Let's go tell the boss!
Hey, let's hit him for a raise.
Yeah, sure. This is white real dough. Oh, we're gonna hit the big boss for a raise.
Yes, we're going to hit the big boss for a raise!
Oh, we're gonna get more money.
Cause we know that we're funny. We're gonna hit the big boss for a raise.
An important fact about the Disney Company in 1941, the year of Dumbo's production and release. From May 28th, the day after Walt Disney fired the pro-union animator Art Babbitt, to September 21st, 1941, a group of more than 200 Disney animators went on strike demanding equitable pay and fair recognition for the work of the animators. This Dumbo scene, portraying foolish clowns demanding a pay raise from the big boss, served to mock the striking animators and their demands, denigrating them as, well, clowns.
My name is Stitch, and I'm the new union buster. No more unions! No more unions! I will bite and destroy your unions.
Scenes like these in Dumbo reveal the importance of understanding the historical context behind films. Not only does Dumbo reflect the pervasive white supremacy in American culture, but the strike that occurred during its production played an important role in working class history. While the racism in Dumbo may make it uncomfortable to watch and discuss, films like this provide an opportunity to learn about American history through the lens of popular art. Simply censoring the film would do nothing to rectify America's historical and contemporary white supremacy. But if teachers and parents use the film as a tool to educate children, then perhaps our future generations can learn to critically examine both media and systemic structures. Walt Disney retaliated against the strikers, firing many and later alleging that the strike had communist connections in his testimony before the House Un-American Activities Committee in 1947, going as far as to malign many individual leaders of the animator strike as communists. However, despite the backlash the strikers experienced, Walt Disney ultimately had to recognize the Screen Cartoonists Guild at the end of the strike in 1941. The legacy of unions in Hollywood can be seen today in the ongoing Writers Guild of America strike, television and film writers advocating for greater job security and more equitable compensation. Ugh, that was a lot of facts and stuff. You know what sucks about this concussion is I didn't even get it doing something cool. You know, like I didn't get it in a bar fight. I didn't get it going bungee jumping. I didn't fall off a horse. I didn't, have a moment in an epic battle of the bands kind of situation where one of my opponents just whacks a banjo over my head. It wasn't like that. I didn't drop an anvil on my head trying to kill that damn Roadrunner bird. I will kill you one of these days. I ain't gonna even eat you. I just want to see you die. It wasn't one of those situations. I just slipped in the shower. I don't know what you're thinking. You're thinking Ariel, you're a nubile young cat in your 20s. How are you going to just slip in the shower? But it's I'm actually 87 years old. It's a lot of plastic surgery. It's mostly the adrenochrome. I'm on an IV drip of adrenochrome every night when I go to sleep in my hyperbaric chamber. And, despite the effect it's had on my appearance, I look real young. Inside here, it's on the fritz. It's a mess. I have several infections that are, I actually cannot clear up. I have this fungus, and I have typhus, but it's, I neither of those actually, the virus and the fungi have formed a symbiotic relationship with the internal system. So, I actually, need those things in my body to survive. And what am I talking about? I sound insane. Heyo, person watching this video, are you considering citing this video in your paper on animation or strikes or whatever? Don't! I'm not a reliable source, I'm just some schmuck on the internet. But if you are interested in doing some more research, you can use some of the sources that I used to jumping off point for your own research. So I found a few sources helpful, including an NPR interview with Jake Friedman, who's a person who wrote a book about the strike called The Disney Revolt. I haven't read the book, but I'm intending to. There's also a Jacobin article by Paul Prescott that I used. An article by Tom Cito, who's an animator. He's writing for Animation World Network. Additionally, I'll have the link to the video of Disney's testimony before the House of Un-American Activity thingy in 1947. And there's a New York Times article discussing Disney's work as an informant for the FBI. I found very interesting, and I'll have that linked as well. That article by Herbert Mitgang. Goodbye! This episode of Aerial Critiques is sponsored by Bang Energy. You tired right now? Drink this. You won't be tired no more. It's Bang Energy. Oh. Ugh. It's all gone.